Good morning, Hamza, for joining us this Thursday morning on WION. Now, it's the day after the polling in Pakistan. PTI leading 114 seats. Are you at all surprised by the performance of Imran Khan's PTI? Or did you expect this all along?
Ji, a very good morning to you too, and thank you so much for having me on your show. This victory, considering how things have gone in the past 1 year.
Victory for whom, if I might ask?
Victory for Imran Khan, let me assure you. This is not an election which is engineered by the establishment. This is not an election engineered by the Pakistan Army. These are only fake narratives which are being spread by Nawaz Sharif and his party because they have been caught red-handed in corruption. And it's the first time in Pakistan that a big shot has been punished for corruption. And I think to deviate from that punishment, they're putting forward this narrative that, oh, this is a conspiracy by the Pakistan Army and we haven't done any corruption. And I have to say very sadly that some publications, very well-respected publications in India, are also spreading this narrative, which I find very hurtful in a way, because there is no evidence of this narrative. There is no objective evidence. It's only based upon connect-the-dot logics of basically PMLA.
Hamza, you certainly seem to be in a minority of one when you say that. Many people I've spoken to this morning and last night in India, around the world, insist that this was scripted by the so-called Pakistani establishment, whoever or whatever that might be. But anyway, coming back to the point,
I'll tell you who those people are. If I might interrupt.
Sure, please go ahead.
Let me show you, I belong to the majority in Pakistan, and those people about whom you're talking about, they're in fact the minority. I can tell you about them on my fingertips. People like Mubashir Zabi, Gul Bukhari, Hussain Haqqani. There is this group of people in Pakistan who have always bashed the Pakistan Army, who have always bashed ISI. This is a very small group. All the articles that you see on Bloomberg, on BBC, on even Al Jazeera, they are written by these 20 to 30 people who make up this group of super intellectuals in Pakistan who see a conspiracy in everything when things are not going their way. And they, by default, are not very fond of Imran Khan because he has taken also the religious groups on board. He hasn't shied away from that. And they absolutely resent him for that. And now they have also jumped on the bandwagon of Nawaz Sharif, and they are putting this conspiracy forward. And let me assure you, they are a minority. Majority of the people in Pakistan, they went out, they voted, and they voted for PTI and Imran Khan. And this, I fail to understand, why is this a surprise? Imran Khan is the only candidate in Pakistan who is a politician solely because of his own hard work. He does not have a dynasty. He does not have, how Nawaz Sharif was put in politics by General Zia, by the army establishment. So he doesn't have that establishment factor behind him. He doesn't have a dynasty of politicians. He is the only politician in Pakistan who for 24 years has hard to do years. So we can't demean his struggle and the facts by attributing this victory to political engineering by the Pakistan military.
Right, fair point.
I think that's very...
Indeed, your point is well taken, Hamza. But this is the same gentleman who supported the blasphemy law, who has the moniker Taliban Khan, who supports the terror groups. He's non-committal on cross-border terrorism directed against both India and Afghanistan. But that said, now many people say even the PTI cadres themselves are surprised at the election results, 114 at last count. And some people also say that Pakistani army is the winner in all of this. So what is the Naya in Naya Pakistan of Imran Khan?
I'll tell you, firstly, the things that you've mentioned. They called him Taliban Khan because he opposed Pakistan getting into the war that was, at that point in time, war of the United States. And even now, India, US, even Afghan government are going for negotiations with those same Taliban, and they have accepted them as a part of the social fabric of the Afghanis. So what he said all those years ago is being now thought of as the right approach towards the Afghan issue. You can't just go and carpet bomb people. So his approach in 2002 is now being proven right. Secondly, everybody in Pakistan, let me assure you, look, I'm known as a hawk. I speak for Kashmir. I speak against what I think are Indian atrocities in Kashmir. But let me assure you something: there is no Shiv Sena here. There is no extremist mainstream group here. Nobody in Pakistan by attacks. We all think of it as terrorism when there's civilians who die in India or Afghanistan. This is an absolutely wrong notion, which is being portrayed in India, that he supports terrorism. In Kashmir, no. Both countries, India and Pakistan, let's face it, have an issue which is called Kashmir. So our relationship with India is to some extent based on the solution of Kashmir issue. And he's saying the same thing. So he's not saying something which is an exception. That is the will of Pakistani people. That is the popular public opinion. So I think that Naya Pakistan is, number one, a person like Imran Khan, who has the backbone to take stands internationally and say the right thing, regardless of where the power politics narrative is.
Okay.
That kind of man, breaking the nexus of PMLN and PPP, coming to power, number one, that's new. Number two, we have a prime minister now, inshallah, who is known to be not financially corrupt, even by his opponents. Number three, in Pakistan, finally, we have a new set of people who are going to take charge of the economy, of the foreign policy, of the defense policy, and of the interior policy. So everything is new right now, and these are the people who have not been tested before on the federal level. That's the Naya Pakistan.
Fair enough. Now, you say that there are new people set to take over Pakistan. Imran Khan is an unknown entity. He will have a new set of people to advise him on foreign policy. But the question everybody is asking around the world is, what is new in Naya Pakistan if it is the same old Pakistani establishment, namely the army and ISI, which continue to be in the driver's seat or having a rearguard action, so to speak, and to control the political players, be it Imran Khan or otherwise?
Imran Khan is number one. You're saying he's an unknown player. He is definitely not an unknown player.
And some also call him a proxy of the Pakistani army.
Okay. Well, that's what the opponents, unfortunately, it's a very tragic tradition in Pakistan, maybe because our history of democracy, continuous democracy, is only 10, 12 years old. It's a tragedy in Pakistan that the losing party always says that the elections are rigged. Now, the problem is, this is not Musharraf's time. This is not Ziaul Haq's time. There is no dictatorship in Pakistan. The election commissioner was appointed by Nawaz Sharif. The caretaker prime minister was appointed by PMLN and People's Party. From the election commissioner to the chief of the army staff to the ISI chief, everybody has been appointed by the democratic government. So this is not Musharraf or Zia time. Now they cannot find an excuse about the military dictatorship. So they're going ahead and saying that even though we appointed all the heads of these institutions, including the army chief, but because we have lost and we do not have enough grace to say that, yes, we have lost elections, best of luck to the new government. Hence, we will now come up with this narrative that this is all controlled by ISI. This is not the truth.
Right.
This is only an opinion-based narrative. It has no objective reality. Think about it yourself. And from the Prime Minister to the Army Chief to the NAB Chairman to the Election Commissioner, they have all been appointed by Nawaz Sharif's party. So then how can you say that this is all a conspiracy?
All right. Your point is well taken, Hamza Ali. Maid Ali is patiently